is going on, everyone? This is Zach from Clutch Crew Sports back with week 6 of the LockBoard. So, as always, guys, we do this LockBoard every week, and we're going to draft the 6th LockBoard. We're also going to recap last week's LockBoard as well. Standings getting a little tighter, as you will see.
That's right. That's right.
But we will go over the picks from last week first. So let me get the Google slides on. I should have had this prepared.
The Jujul.
Right? Yeah.
Wow, Zach. The unpreparedness.
Here we are.
Zach's getting suspended from hosting duties for a couple weeks for that one.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
So as you can see here, myself and Connor with zeros this week. Not good weeks at all. Eric, the lone points getter with 6 points, wins the week. So that brings the total standings. I'm still in first place with 25. Eric's in second with 19, and Connor is in third with 10 still.
Okay, hold on. Is this
15.
the second week in a row that you've tried to give yourself extra points when recapping the standings?
I don't know. I saw the 19.
Add to the suspension.
Yeah.
4 weeks.
But yeah, so it's still a 15 points difference from last to first, but Eric in second place climbing up, only 6 points away now from tying first place. And we'll go over last week's picks here. I'll start all zeros, obviously, across the board. BYU.
A lot of red on that board.
A lot of red. Yeah,
I like where the green is, though.
But
I mean, you are in my alliance, so I'm like half happy, but like.
Yeah. No, I get it. Like Zach and I were talking when you're Kansas over TCU, or like when my Arkansas over Mississippi State didn't hit. I was like, man, like I'd be cool with Connor getting that Kansas over TCU, but then he would be like passing me at the same time since mine didn't hit. So like it's hard, man. It's hard.
Yeah. So BYU over Notre Dame, I got that wrong. Also in college, Washington State over USC, got that wrong. In the NFL, I picked some NFC West teams that, again, lost. Seattle being one of them. They couldn't beat the Saints. And then I picked the wrong Arizona Cardinals.
Y'all both did.
They, I'll do a little mini rant here on this. Just kickers, man. I think the theme of this season on the LockBoard might be kicking, just how close some of these games have gone and missed field goals and stuff. Arizona with a chance to tie the game misses the field goal, and I watched that and was just shaking my head because
to be fair, that was their backup kicker, so
it was their backup, and they showed his warm-ups, and I knew immediately when I saw the warm-ups he wasn't going to make it, but still it was like a 43-yard field goal, like practically indoors with no wind. It's like, come on.
Well, that was the thing, right? You talked about the warm-ups, though, because I saw that part where, like, he had tried that same kick, like, 3 times in warm-ups and missed it wide right every time. And then, sure enough, like, in the game, he misses it wide right.
You didn't, like, make an adjustment? Like, I should probably aim more to the left next time. I don't know. But I didn't see that, so.
It was a makeable field goal still, and it hurt, but got the
Welcome to my world.
Yeah, I wasn't the only one with the wrong Arizona team. Connor, tell us about your picks.
Yeah, well, I've in the past when I've had these weeks that I've had zero, or I had one earlier this season where like it was a bunch of like really close reds, but that really wasn't the case this week. I kind of just stunk it up all over the place, except for the first game, that Kansas TCU one. That was a bit painful because Kansas was in that game, like it was a back and forth game the whole time, and just so happened that TCU had the ball last, so they were the ones that went down and got the game-winning touchdown. But the other 3 were not nearly as close. Oregon pretty thoroughly handled Arizona. Very surprised at what happened in the New England-Detroit game. Like, that was really surprising that the number 1 offense in the NFL got held to 0 points, especially with New England having their 3rd-string quarterback. I thought for sure I was going to get that one. That was like a no-brainer, but unfortunately, the Patriots have to ruin my dreams like they have for the last 20 years. And then the last one, like that one, I'm not gonna be super like upset about, because the only reason why I picked that was because I was going to the game, and unfortunately it turned out to be a bloodbath. But I could not pick it since I was going, so I feel like I'm not going to catch as much heat for that one. But the two in the middle, that sucked. Those
Yeah,
were
you will get no roasts from me and Zach for that Steelers over Bills pick. Like nothing but respect on that one.
I stayed the whole time too, so
that's a dedicated fan right there. Like,
well, that was the part that was killing me. Actually, quick thing about that game was the fact that, like, of course, like by the time the game was over, who was left in the stands? Steelers fans. All the Bills fans had left. Like, over like 3/4 of the stadium was empty. And I was like, oh, I can actually pick out the Steelers fans now because we're all still here.
That's insane, dude.
I'm like, come on, Bills fans. Like, aren't y'all supposed to be like, the most diehard fans? And like, yeah, like some of them were leaving in the third quarter. I'm like, come on.
Man, I would have been staying and partying. I would not have left, but whatever.
Well, that's where they were going. They were going to like sports bars and stuff. But I'm like, come on, man, you paid all this money for this ticket, like, especially since you're winning, like.
Yeah, dude. Man.
But yeah, so Eric, you're the only one that actually got games correct this week. So tell us about that.
Yeah, there's been no roasting of me so far this episode, so I'm thoroughly enjoying that. I got 2 games right, 2 games wrong. I took a 5-pointer first, Arkansas over Mississippi State. That ended up being a mistake. I did not know Arkansas, I guess their quarterback was out, so they could only basically run the ball. I would not have picked them if I had known that, but got that wrong. I also got the Bengals over Ravens wrong. I thought I might get it until the Ravens got into field goal range towards the end of the game, and I knew, Zach talked about kicking problems, but I knew Justin Tucker was not going to miss.
That's one kicker that you never have to worry
about.
Yeah.
I was like, dang it, couldn't have been the Cardinals kicker in there, but anyway. But then Susan was very happy with me with my first correct pick that I drafted, which was the Dallas Cowboys over the Rams. The Rams had been struggling. I thought they were pretty vulnerable, so I got that right. And Dallas, for the most part, handled them. It was never really too close. And then in college, this was my last pick. This was kind of more of a shot in the dark pick, but it worked. I got UCLA over Utah. Thanks to Susan's surgery that she had to have, I was in a hotel and watched UCLA beat Washington before this week, and they like dominated them, and that gave me the knowledge I needed to pick that. Otherwise, I may not have gotten that one. So there was one good thing about her surgery. That's what it was. So I got 3 points on the LockBoard.
I will say, had you not picked that, and if I was not going to the Steelers Bills game, that would have been my next pick. Like, had you not picked that, and if I wasn't going to that game.
Well, thank God I got to watch them beat Washington, and you were going to that game. So
yeah, when you picked that, I knew that was a good pick when you picked it. I was like, oh, I'm like, that was good.
Might be fracturing the alliance right there, Eric.
I was just complimenting him. I'm not sure how that's fracturing the alliance.
I think he's saying maybe because like I sniped you or something. Like maybe that's why it.
Oh,
no. Eric's saying like, I'm glad I picked that, and
I was gonna say because like, yeah, you didn't spite me because I never was picking that. Like, I was gonna pick the Steelers.
Oh, okay, I see.
Had I not been going to the Steelers game, that would have
been. Zach knows he's, as long as he's in first, he's on an island by himself over there. So he's trying to.
Hey.
The crack.
Next thing you know, like Eric, he likes to write his picks down on paper. The next thing you know, he's going to be holding it up and it's going to have your name on it, Zach, because you're getting voted off the island.
First vote, Zach.
Oh man. Hopefully my 6 points can, buy me a hidden immunity idol. So
from that. You have fire tokens.
Trade like 5 of your points to keep you the lead, but get you an advantage.
Yeah. Shout out to all the people that watch Survivor for these references. But let's get to the actual LockBoard for this week. So as the standings indicate, based off of last week, I've got the first pick. Connor's got the second pick. Eric's got the third pick. This is the first time maybe all year I've had the first pick, honestly. So that's exciting to have, even under the circumstances of getting 0. But with that being said, I've got the first pick here. A lot of options and I really do like a bunch of games this week. I'm going to get my first pick as Kansas beating Oklahoma.
Oh, there's an early snipe right there.
You know what's funny? I thought you were going to snipe me, but you didn't. So I'm actually I'm I'm very surprised you didn't take what I'm going to take.
All right. Well,
We'll see. We'll see.
But
I mean, I will say that Kansas Oklahoma, I was definitely considering that too, but like that wasn't my first pick.
yeah,
I had to go like last week when you accidentally had the Eagles favored over the Cardinals. Like when I saw that, I had to go look at that. I was like, wait, I was like, was this another typo? And sure enough, it wasn't. And I was like, okay, well, that's my
I was really surprised.
That's
by
my
that.
number one preference there.
Yeah, I was very surprised by that.
I'm assuming Kansas's quarterback, who is lighting it up, is probably going to be hurt, but their backup looked decent to me.
Yeah, the backup was lighting it up too.
Yeah,
so
that
didn't faze me at all.
With that backup quarterback in there, I like their chances.
Well, and Oklahoma's trash, so
exactly.
Yeah, they literally lost 49-0 to Texas last week. I mean, Texas is good, but like, how are you 9-point favorites over a ranked team when you just got beat 49-0? Like, come on.
Yeah, well, especially given that that's a rivalry game and like the Red River Shootout, like.
Yeah.
When's the last time the loss was lopsided that bad in Texas's favor? Like.
Yeah, and Kansas is bowl eligible if they win this game too. So like, which they probably haven't been in forever. So like, they won that game. Like I wanted that one bad. So that got me, Zach.
Always fortunate to snipe Eric, I will say. But Connor, you've got the second pick.
That sounds like something someone would say when they're getting a little nervous. Okay.
Yeah, well, my second pick. My first pick. This is what I wanted. This is what I thought Zach was going to take. And I know this is going to be interesting because I'm going to screw y'all over from a rooting standpoint. But I got Tennessee over Alabama. Like Tennessee's the home team. Bryce Young is still banged up. Like
that also snipes me.
I was like, I got it. Well, it snipes y'all from a rooting interest standpoint too. So
that's okay.
I thought for sure you were going to take that one, Zach, and then I was going to take that Kansas one, but I'm actually happy.
Okay, well, at least it's good to know I wasn't getting either one of those, but
Yeah, no, I really want Tennessee to win, but it's just hard to pick them to beat Alabama. It's obviously things are different this year, but like I don't know. I don't have a great feeling about that game, but
streaks have to end eventually, right? Like, Alabama's won 15 straight games. Tennessee's at home. Like I said, Bryce Young is banged up. If Bryce Young wasn't banged up, I probably wouldn't have been like as quick to jump on that. But like with him being hurt, because their backup quarterback is like he's useless. Like like they've been winning these games on the strength of their run game. So like if they have to get into a shootout with Tennessee, like I see no way that Bama's going to win a shootout with them because like I said, their backup quarterback's useless. So
yeah, I saw a report on Bryce Young. They were like they're planning to try to hope that he can get out there. I'm like, well, that's the most vague sounding I've ever heard in my life. Like, what does that mean? Okay, so well, my turn. Yep. There is one 5-pointer left that I like. I don't think Connor or Zach would go after this, but I want to go ahead and get it just to make sure because I don't like any of the other 5-pointers. And that's going to be what I picked on the weekly picks. That's going to be the Jets over the Packers. I have zero faith in the Packers right now. They have.
Sorry, Caleb.
Yeah, I know. Look, Caleb, I was always the most optimistic one on this podcast until this season. And so now Connor and Zach are more optimistic about them than I am. But the Jets are riding high right now, and the Packers just came off a ugly loss where they choked a lead to the Giants. And even though the Packers have won some of these games they played, they haven't looked that impressive in them. The Jets, just seem like they're on a mission right now. Like I said, that wasn't my most confident 5-point pick, but I do feel pretty good about that one. So I am at least happy to get something there.
I might have taken that one towards the end, but like it's so hard for me. Like, I know Zach says it's hard to pick, Tennessee over Bama. It's hard for me to pick against the Packers at Lambeau. Like, yeah, they're just so good at Lambeau.
Yeah,
And
that's
we'll
true.
see. We'll see. The Packers, they don't seem to lose back-to-back games very often. I think it's a get-right game for them. Not to bash or pick Eric or anything, but and we're gonna go on. I feel like I'm always criticizing Eric's picks like
Yeah,
every
you
time,
do, man.
but yeah, we'll see. You did win the week last week, so
I
you know
did,
what you're
and
talking
I am the
about.
Getting
defending champ.
nervous. That's what it is, Eric. Like you said earlier,
Yeah.
he's getting nervous.
And I have the Clutch Crew sports gear on, so I'm ready to be clutch right now with these picks. So
Well, I have a App State shirt beating Texas A&M, so I'm ready to pick upsets.
okay. All right, well, Zach, I guess it's back to you now. So what are you going to do for round 2 here?
Yeah, so I am gonna stay in college football. I'm gonna take Oklahoma State to beat TCU. It's a 3-point spread. I think I've done really, and this is gonna be interesting. 2 Big 12 games for me, and I think I've been pretty good in the Big 12 this season. So I like my ability to evaluate that conference, and Oklahoma State. While I do think this will be a close game, TCU, there's just something about them with, that I just feel like they're due right now to lose a game. And in Oklahoma State, I think they're a solid team, probably feeling a little disrespected as well. So Connor, you've got the next pick here. Where are you gonna go with it?
Yeah, so I'm also going to go into the college football war with my second pick, and that is going to be I'm going to go ahead and take USC to beat Utah. I know this is going to be an interesting game for USC. I heard a happen right there.
You two both took the 2 main college 3-pointers I was looking at, so thanks a lot. This is by far the most I've been sniped this season.
Yeah, well, you didn't get sniped at all on that episode that you weren't even on it, so.
Yeah, seriously, but then.
But yeah, no, like Utah has looked really weak in their 2 big games so far this year, and I know this is like the first real test for USC for the most part, on the road, but I just think Utah is a little. I'm not sure how they're still in the top 25. Honestly, I know that the 2 games they've lost have been to better teams, but I think they're a little bit overrated right now, and I think it's good value to be a 3-pointer right there.
Absolutely. So Eric, you've got the last pick here in the second round. What's it gonna be?
All right. Well, since I cannot take either of those college 3-pointers that I had my eyes on, I will head over to the 2-point range for NFL. There's no college 2-pointers I see, but I will take the New England Patriots to beat the Cleveland Browns. Very impressed with what the Patriots did last week, containing the Lions, who have an amazing offense and shutting them out. Bailey Zappi, I will pronounce his name right this time. He's not doing amazing, but he's doing good enough. If the Patriots can at least just even remotely contain the Browns' run game, then I think I can get that.
Good luck stopping my boy Nick Chubb.
Connor, you're a Steelers fan.
Well, and he's on my fantasy team, so
Okay.
Connor's like, Nick Chubb can do good except for the 2 games against the Steelers.
Pretty much, yeah. Which, unfortunately, he did good in the game against us, so.
Yeah.
It was like a win-lose situation. It's sucks that the Steelers lost, which was the more important part. But hey, Nick Chubb got 20 fantasy points.
There's a positive.
All right, so with the third round here, first pick in the third round, I am going to go with a NFL 3-pointer. I'm going to take the Giants to beat the Ravens.
I knew you were going to pick that.
I won't be mad if that happens.
But here's the thing: is I think the Giants. I think I was wrong about them early in the season. I called it a fluke. Clearly, this team is better than I thought. Brian Daboll is doing a great job coaching this team. Baltimore, they've blown some leads this year. They've done uncharacteristic things for the Ravens. I don't like their defense. I think Saquon Barkley's the best offensive player in this game. I think he runs all over Baltimore. I think the Giants are maybe a for real team, and The Ravens, I'm just not sold on them. I know they beat the Bengals, but I like the Giants in this matchup for 3 points. Connor, you're up next here.
Yeah, so my computer just decided to stop working there for a second. Because I gotta go back over here on my phone to look at the spreads. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna head over. I'm gonna do the kind of the same thing as. Actually, I'm now torn.
Tough to decide.
Yeah, so that was like an interesting one that I was thinking because unfortunately for me, when it comes to the weekly picks, I'm gonna have to go against some of my weekly picks here in the NFL if I want to get an NFL game because all the spreads are in favor of my weekly picks right now. So, but I'll go ahead and take the NFL 2-pointer, and I'll go ahead and go with the Seattle Seahawks to beat the Arizona Cardinals. Seattle's really tough to beat at home. And it's just Arizona has had some major issues so far this season. They've looked weaker than everyone thought, and they played the Eagles last week, but they still didn't really look very good against the Eagles. So I think Seattle at home is a good bet right there.
Alrighty, and Eric, you've had some time since that last pick. What's this one gonna be?
When Connor said he was going to the NFL 2-pointers, thought he was going to snipe me there, but he didn't, thank God. Because he already took one rooting interest from me, so I'm going to go ahead and get the other one, and that's going to be in teal writing this time. The Jags over the Colts for a 2-pointer with a hashtag Duval on there. I know the Jags had that bad loss to the Texans last week. Connor, no thumbs down, man.
I'm not thumbsing down the. Just know I'm not thumbsing down the Jags. I'm thumbsing down the Duval.
Oh, okay. That's true. Yeah, you hate the Duval thing. I'm not as a Jags fan. I should love it, but I'm just indifferent with it. But
I mean, I'm just gonna say next time I do something with the Steelers, I'm just gonna go hashtag Allegheny.
Oh God. But yeah, I know the Jags had that bad loss against the Texans last week. Zach and I were both pretty sick after that game. There's definitely no excusing how they played in that, but I think Trevor's going to turn it around. The Jags handled the Colts pretty easily at home. I know, they are on the road this time, but if they play anything like they did against the Colts the first time, I think we should be able to win that. So that is now my 4th time taking my Jags.
That's an interesting stat.
Dedication right there.
I hope you're right, Eric. I hope they shut them out again. That would be
another 24-0 victory would be nice.
That would be crazy. I don't know if that's ever happened in NFL history, shutting out a team twice in the same year.
I don't know either, but if it happens, I'll be happy.
It probably has, but it probably hasn't happened for quite a while.
Yeah, probably back in ancient
days.
Back
when every game was 9-3, something like that. Something like that.
Not that far, but in the 70s or 80s or something. When the 80s Niners used to get to play some of those really bad NFC teams at that time or something.
Yeah, it's probably happened, but
yeah, back when offense, because even bad teams can score points now. But all right. So Eric, you made that pick.
Did
I have to root for you to get that one right, unfortunately. But this is tough. Where do I go? Do I want to go risky with one of these 5-pointers? You know what? This might make Eric a little upset, but I'm going to take the Cowboys to beat the Eagles 3-pointer. And in the NFL, I see Eric a little annoyed with that.
There's no comment here.
But Eric, he got 3 points picking Dallas as an underdog last week.
I did.
Dak or no Dak. I like their chances in this. Philly, I think they're gonna lose a game eventually. I think this is the one that they lose, and I think the Cowboys, their offense, they're finding their way with their offense. The defense is outstanding. Just feed the running game, and I think Dallas can win this game. It'll be close at the very least, I think. So good value in my eyes with that. Connor, you've got the next pick here in the 4th round.
Yeah. Well, this is tough because, like, I'm not really liking any of the rest of these picks on this board. But I also don't want to take, like, just a 1-pointer because I'm really far behind. So I'll go ahead and, this hasn't quite worked out for me in the past, but I'm hoping that this is finally going to be the time that I get one of these right. But I'm going to take Florida State, the Seminoles, over Clemson, because I feel like Clemson should have lost already a couple times this year. So, going down to Tallahassee, I think, as much as I hate to root for Florida State, they're playing Clemson, so.
Yeah, so I'm shocked you picked the Seminoles since you call them FS useless all the time.
Well, at least it'll be founded when I call them that if they lose this game, so.
Yeah. We shall see.
Oh, man.
Eric, the all-important 4th round here. This is where you got 3 of your points last week, so this you can't just view this as a shot in the dark here, even though you did last week and got it right.
Yeah, I'm in a pretty similar position as Connor, where like there really just isn't much that I like. But I know in like week 1 when that happened to me, I took a 1-pointer, but I won't do it this time. I will take a risk, go for a 5-pointer, even though this was not on my board. I'm going to take Penn State to beat Michigan, and they're 10.5-point underdogs.
That's a big deal.
It's at Michigan, which is not the greatest, but Michigan's looked vulnerable in some games this year. Kind of like what Connor talked about with Clemson. I mean, they've had a couple games where they could have lost or they, struggled really early in the game. It seems like Michigan's been taking a long time to get their feet going in some of these games. So I'm going to hope that, Penn State can maybe get off to a hot start and kind of shock them early, and then, maybe Michigan won't recover and Penn State can hang on and win or something. Like, Penn State is the 10th ranked team, so it's not like they're horrible or something. Like, I do think there's a realistic chance of this, but I'm, kind of like how I was with UCLA Utah last week. I wasn't most excited about that one, but it worked out. So maybe I'll get that luck again this time.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say, I was gonna say the reason why I didn't consider that one is because, like, Michigan is pretty notorious for playing down to their opponents. Like, even last year, they like almost lost to Rutgers last year. So like they're pretty, and because most of the teams they've been playing have been bad teams like Indiana and teams like that. So they're pretty notorious for doing that. So I'm not sold yet on thinking that they're vulnerable right now, just because they tend to do that.
That's where you may have that little more college football knowledge that I don't have, but like how I didn't know Arkansas's quarterback.
I mean, I could definitely still see it happening, but that's why I didn't want to pick that one, because I'm not sold on Michigan being vulnerable yet. Because I mean, yeah, they showed up against Ohio State last year after almost losing to Rutgers. So
yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, so let's recap the picks that we just made here. For myself, I went with Big 12 and NFC East teams. I picked Kansas to beat Oklahoma. That's a 5-pointer. And I picked Oklahoma State to beat TCU. Go Cowboys this week, by the way.
Oh yeah, you got 2 Cowboy teams on there.
I also picked the Cowboys from Dallas to beat the Eagles from Philadelphia, and Connor's shaking his head at it. And then I picked the New York Football Giants to beat
Eric's
the
favorite team.
Ravens.
Yeah, you got the Big 12 and the NFC East going on here. I don't know how I feel about this.
Well, I feel good. So Connor. Connor, recap your picks as well here.
Yeah, so I'm pretty college heavy this week. I have 3 college games, 1 NFL. I got the rooting interest game over Zach and Eric with the Tennessee over Alabama. Then I've got USC, and so that's a 5-pointer. Then I've got USC over Utah for a 3-pointer out in the Pac-12. Then I've got an NFC West showdown with Seattle over Arizona for a 2-pointer. And then an ACC showdown with Florida State over Clemson for a 3-pointer. So I'm all over the board here with conferences and divisions.
Yeah, you got some nice conference diversity going on there.
I got 3 of the Big 5, so
Yeah, there you go. There you go. I've got AFC East heavy to start. I've got the Jets over the Packers for a 5-point play, and then the Patriots over the Browns for a 2-point play. Another NFL pick with my Jacksonville Jaguars. Look at there at the hat, as you can see right there. Going into Indy and beating the Colts for a 2-pointer. And then my last pick of the draft this week was Penn State over Michigan for 5 points. So no 3-pointers for me this week, but hopefully I can get one of these 5-pointers, get both these 2-pointers, and get myself up into first place, baby.
No. We don't want to see that. But thanks to everybody for listening and watching. We do have NBA games coming to the LockBoard next week with the NBA regular season starting. So that's going to add new strategy, more games to pick from. So next week's LockBoard will look a little different, but we'll still have it the same style as always. And until next time, guys, remember, be clutch.
Peace.
Bye.